Jackie Jones, yeah.
Hi, Jackie Jones here at iWatchWrestling.com for another Jackie Jones show. Lots of big news in the wrestling world. Let's get right to it. Starting May 31st, Impact is going to start going live. I think this is a great idea. A live wrestling show always has a different feel. Raw is always the A show. Even when SmackDown was good, just being taped, it has a different feel to it. When it's live, it feels like anything can happen. You also avoid the spoilers. Now, I know some naysayers out there like, well, it doesn't make any difference because TNA is so bad. Well, obviously the show has to be good. But a show has to be good. That is like a prerequisite for any program to succeed. But I do think a lot live, I'm going to enjoy it more, and that's what I'm worried about as a wrestling fan. So I'm looking forward to it. On the other side, Raw is going to start going 3 hours starting July 23rd for the 1000th edition of Raw. 3 hours every week. I don't think this is a good idea. Now, a lot of times the 3-hour Raws, I think they kind of drag out, and I'm kind of bored by the end of them, kind of waiting from the end. And this really hurt Nitro. Nitro was really hot and went to 3 hours, and I know the reasoning is that, you know, you get more ad sales because it's longer, so you can sell another hour of ads. And some people say, well, maybe now we'll get to see some of the guys that don't get a chance to be on Raw and SmackDown. But did that really pan out during the brand extension? Did you really get to see all these different guys wrestling? No. And what I've always said, if you're not good enough right now to be on the main show, maybe you're just not good enough. So I don't think really padding out the show with a bunch of guys that the fans they don't necessarily care about really helps the program. Of course, we'll have to wait and see, but it just stands to reason. This is not a knock on WWE, but it just stands to reason. If you have another extra hour of television to write every week, it's going to be harder to fill up with good stuff. John Cena, his wife, they're getting a divorce, and she's just refusing the divorce. She's not going to go through with it. Now, Cena actually has a prenup, and apparently she's trying to get that thrown out. I don't understand what the purpose of a prenup is if they don't stand up. Dave Prazak starting up another all-women's wrestling company. Going to be like the sister promotion to Shimmer. I know everybody out there knows I'm not the biggest women's wrestling fan. Is there really a market for another one when Shimmer only runs like, what do they do, like 4 or 5 shows a year? Can you have another promotion, all women's wrestling? I don't know, but, good luck to them. NWA Legends Fan Fest news. Now, every year we talk about this. It has been dubbed the in-your-head WrestleMania. It's like a road WrestleMania all year round. We talk about it, and it culminates at the Fan Fest weekend. This year, back in Charlotte, North Carolina, NWA Legends this August. Meet myself. Meet one of his biceps. Meet the Flea. And you know what? I know you're thinking that's enough. I'm sold. I'm going there. But there's going to be wrestling legends there. I know. There's wrestling legends. There's Q&As. There's autographs. There's wrestling events. There's so much going on. It is one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of. Looking forward to it. The Hall of Heroes, we've been to every single one. This August, they've just announced first ever appearance for Exotic Adrian Street and Miss Linda. Also, Bobby the Brain Heenan is going to be making an appearance for T-Mart. Going to be great stuff. Check out, there's so many other guests there. Dirty Dutch Mantel should be on the show this week, although he's kind of a prima donna and he's already no-shows twice. But maybe he'll show up this time. But nonetheless, he will be at the Fan Fest. And check out NWALegends.com. Great stuff. Over at TNA, Anthony Nese released from TNA. I actually think this is a bad idea from TNA. I know a lot of people out there like, who's Anthony Nese? Who cares? But you got to remember something, folks. Every single wrestler starts out unknown. People aren't born known. I mean, not everybody's the internet icon Jackie Jones. But all kidding aside, this guy was really good. They signed, I think, people with a lot less potential that are on there right now. But this guy, he has a good look, really good wrestler. And I think this guy, given the right gimmick, given the right push, he could have been somebody for the company. So I think it was a big mistake. They re-signed Earl Hebner. Who cares? But they also re-signed Gunner for 3 more years. I think Gunner's a hell of a worker. Been a big fan of his throughout his career before he was in TNA, as a lot of you guys know. X Division champion Austin Aries has re-signed for a few more years. Really happy for that. Big fan of Austin Aries. Really glad to see him doing well in TNA. It looks like he's going to be moving up the card. Might be even main eventing the next pay-per-view. TNA with a big signing. They signed Brooke Hogan, the daughter of the Hulkster, the immortal one, Hulk Hogan. She's going to tower over most of the wrestlers, especially X Division guys. Going to tower over all the knockouts. She is a big woman. But nonetheless, she's going to be the executive in charge of the Knockouts. Are you excited about this? Seeing Brooke Hogan there? Brooke Hogan, like I said, the daughter of the Hulkster in TNA, the daughter of Ric Flair, is going to the WWE. That's right, Ashley Flair. Woo! Wouldn't that be weird if she becomes bigger than Reed, bigger than David Flair, the daughter? What is she going to be? Is she going to be the Nature Girl? Will she be making a TV? We'll find out. Ring of Honor sent a cease and desist letter over to Gabe Sapolsky, former owner and the guy who really created Ring of Honor. And they're saying that because he was on Twitter and he's bad-mouthing Ring of Honor. This could have gone into the Twitter wars. But he's bad-mouthing Ring of Honor because their poor production on their pay-per-views. And apparently he signed, when they split ways, he signed in the agreement that he could not talk badly about the company. Now, I know maybe legally they're in the right or whatnot, but seems like a real kind of a faggy move. Seems like a real kind of, you're in the wrestling business. Wrestling business is guys, and it's guys beating people up. Seems kind of lame to be like, so we're gonna be calling the, we're gonna be suing you, taking your court because you said our pay-per-views are bad. Pretty lame, in my opinion. Especially when the guy created the company. I mean, the guy created the company. I don't know all the backstage stuff if he was cheated out of the company or whatnot. But still, the guy started the company, and now you're going to sue him. Just lame. I'm sure a lot of you guys know by now, China collapsed at the Exotica Expo in Florida, and that's Exotica with 3 X's for all you porn hounds out there. But in all seriousness, it's too bad for her. I mean, she was on top of the world for a while in wrestling, and she's really fallen hard. I mean, she's painted herself green and taken up the wazoo in movies, but now her health is a concern. Collapsed 3 times. Doesn't look good for her. But, hey, I wish her all the best. Linda Hogan's going to be in a hip-hop video called MILF. So J. Mike out there, he'll be having that up for MILF Monday. And the Hulkster, her ex-husband, he's going to be in Zombie Hamlet. I kind of spell Oscar here with a name like Zombie Hamlet. He's going to be playing Mr. Macbeth. Also stars June Lockhart, Jason Mewes, and John Amos. Going to be a hell of a film. Zombie Hamlet. I don't know what this big thing is lately, putting zombies in like historic figures, but it's all the rage. Speaking of wrestling movies, former WWE writer Dan Madigan, he has come out in a recent interview and said that the original idea for See No Evil, Vince McMahon wanted Kane to expose his penis in the film, and that was going to be 3 feet long. That would have been a hell of a film. Over in the Twitter wars of Otunga and Bobby Roode did this little skit on Impact where he demanded that he'd have all green M&Ms, and I guess this was a playoff of Otunga did it once on Raw or something. Anyway, Otunga replied, "He's my fan, or a mark. Take that, Bobby Roode." Big Twitter wars going on with Scott Steiner. The man is a freaking Twitter genius. He's tweeting away over about the Hulkster and his daughter Brooke. Let's read some of this stuff. You is true, calling you a pussy and bitch, etc. Now, this is in reference to Hulk Hogan saying he's actually going to sue Scott Steiner for the stuff he said on Twitter. Man, back in the day, wrestlers would just fight it out. They'd rip an eye out. They might bust someone's arm. But today, they are tweeting and calling lawyers. It's a sad day in the world of wrestling. But anyway, Scott Steiner, you is true, calling you a pussy and a bitch, etc. is my opinion. But you admitted you got a lawyer. Proves that you are. And since you admitted to getting a lawyer, you could tell everybody exactly what tweet scared you. LOL, that's laughing out loud for all you old folks out there. Instead of wasting your money on a lawyer, you should hire a PR firm. Because, like I've been saying all along, if you ain't saying your catchphrases, you sound like a complete idiot. And coming from Scott Steiner, that means a lot, because this man is he's a friggin' rogue scholar. And maybe that PR firm can help your daughter too. Because she admitted she could be a great whore when she tweeted that she could make more money on her back than I did in my wrestling career. Now you're wondering what's going on here. Well, let me get to that. Because actually Brooke Hogan, she was tweeting to Scott Steiner as well. And because Scott Steiner called her no-talent daughter, and Brooke replied, a certain wrestler with a stupid mesh hat needs a STFU. Shut the F up there. Number 1, stop overcompensating for your little problem. Number 2, act like a damn gentleman. And number 3, I'd make more money on my back than you ever would in your whole career. Now, all you young ladies out there, you listen to the show, now someone told you, you got no talent. Would your immediate response be, oh yeah, well I can make more money selling my body on the streets than you do, at your job? Doesn't seem like the greatest comeback to me to prove that you're talented, but that's Brooke Hogan for you. Let's see what's for sale, people. Over in WWE, we get the WWE Encyclopedia 2nd edition. That looks pretty cool. I have the first one. I know a lot of people do. It's a big hit in the autograph community. People take it around to conventions, take it to autograph signings, get it signed. I think this might upset some of those people, though, because it's like they have this. It's already signed by some people. Might be signed from some people they'll never meet again. Some guys that passed away. Now a whole new edition comes out. What do? I don't know, but still pretty cool. Extreme Reunions on iPay-per-view. Check that out, extremereunion.net. And I've got to say, I've heard a lot of bad things about it, and I know it's been edited, but I quite enjoyed the show. Is it perfect? Not by any means, but it's still a fun watch. A lot of crazy chants. I thought overall it was really good. Actually, check out In Your Head last week. I reviewed it. WWE has a lot of cutoff shirts, tank tops for sale. I'm not a big fan of the tank tops, but hey, for all you rednecks out there, we got Zack Ryder, CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, The Miz, Randy Orton, Rock, Triple H, and John Cena. I guess if you got the big guns and you want to show them off, or mostly just for rednecks. Out of stock, apparently, but oh my god, when I saw this, I was friggin' amazed. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the WWE Lawn Gnomes. I'm just amazed that these products exist and that they've actually sold out, which means people have bought them. I've never seen them on clearance, so people actually paid full money for these. But there was actually, at one point in time, a CM Punk Lawn Gnome. If any of you guys out there ever see this, you gotta buy it for me. Come on, people, I do hours of In Your Head for you every week. I do all these videos. I'm cooking, I'm drinking, I'm doing it Jackie Jones shows, I'm reviewing horror movies. Buy me a friggin' lawn gnome. Over on TNA, we got the Robbie E sunglasses. I'm sure they'll be flying off the shelves. Gunner has a new shirt. Not really a big fan of it. Also, if you see the photo, it's real long, and it almost looks like he's got no pants on. Kind of looks like it was a very feminine picture. Not the best picture to take, in my opinion. The new Phenomenal AJ Styles shirt. That's pretty cool. This one was perplexing just because of the name. And the design, because it's not really yin yang, but it's RVD the Dragon Yang. Now, just by that name, I almost thought it was a snake, but by the name Dragon Yang, maybe it's just a friggin', I don't know, reptile penis. I don't know. Interesting shirt, I guess. This wild Jeff Hardy, I actually kind of dig this one, I gotta admit it. This crazy Jeff Hardy painting shirt, I guess it's a painting that he did himself. I actually really dig it. The TNA gym bag. Over at Ring of Honor, we got the Joe versus Punk trilogy. That's pretty cool. I've noticed Ring of Honor is starting to put out a lot of older products of their classic stuff. A lot of the guys that are big now in TNA and in WWE. I guess that's smart, but in a way, to me, it kind of makes you think, man, they're kind of lacking in stars right now. Look at all these guys they used to have. But I guess it works both ways. Eddie Edwards, Slap Your Face tee. I'm usually not a big fan of the Ring of Honor shirts. I kind of like that one. The Dem Boys Man Up shirt. This is kind of an oxymoron to me. On the back, it says Man Up. I like that. Man Up, people. On the front, it's hashtag Dem Boys. To me, if you involve hashtag, that is like the opposite of manning up. If you're tweeting, you're not a man. I wouldn't say that to these guys' faces, but that's what I think. The El Generico Ole 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 DVD. That'd be pretty cool. Ring of Honor Year 1. It's like the best of their first year, 2002. I'm sure that's got some awesome stuff. And check this out. That's right. Dad, you don't work. You wrestle. That is the George South autobiography. And you can buy that right now at georgesouthbook.com. I was really happy. I actually got this in the mail from George South. You guys know he's been on the show 3 times. We've interviewed him in person, I believe, twice. And we've met him many times. I'd say he's one of the most beloved guests of all time on the show. If you add up all his appearances, I think he blows everybody away in the time, but not just the length of the interviews. He is a great guy, and I think he's a friend of the show, and I think this proved it. He actually wrote in here, he actually signed it for me. To my favorite rockin' guy, thank you, Neil, for everything. God bless. Number 1, George South, John 3:16. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. We're going to be back on the show very soon to talk all about it. But in the meantime, check out georgesouthbook.com. pick up the book. I've heard that he actually talks about In Your Head in the book, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's a pretty big book, only like 350 pages, lots of pictures, probably stuff you've never seen before. And George South, if you're not familiar with George South, if you're a younger fan, I'm not going to say he's a world champ or anything. Great wrestler. He's like a journeyman of the wrestling business. He's wrestled pretty much everybody there is. Great worker, really great guy, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. And if you're a fan of In Your Head, definitely buy it. Help out the guy. He's a good man. This is his life work right here in this book. GeorgeSouthBook.com. Pick it up. All right, now we got the mail. We got from Richard Hampson. Is that really you? With the Mahatma Gandhi. That's right. Over on Facebook, you can check it out. The Church of Jackie Jones is up. And I know this is going to offend some people. So if you're easily offended, don't go there. But if you don't give a damn, go to the Facebook.com/Church of Jackie Jones. And there's some historic pictures. And he's asking, is that really me with Gandhi? And if so, how do you keep up the good, youthful looks? Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hampson. Of course, that's me with Gandhi. I've never lied to anybody out there. Everything I say is the gospel. There's never been an untruth that has passed these lips. All right, Dan Fitzpatrick. Can we get a campaign going to get Scott Steiner on the show? Hell yeah! If you're out there, what you got to do, tweet over to Scott Steiner. I believe it's at Scott's Diner on the Twitter. Tweet him, say, we want to hear you on iWhiteWrestling.com. Maybe leave the telephone number, 508-644-8503. Just keep tweeting the guy. Email him if you know the email address, whatever. I mean, don't say anything derogatory. Don't be an ass. But just tell him, we want to hear you on In Your Head. Do it, guys. Maybe you guys can help get him on the show. Robert Budzinski out there wants to know, do you love me? I love everyone who listens to iWatchWrestling.com, and that would include you, Mr. Budzinski. So, of course. Austin Zirkle wants to know what's your favorite beverage while grilling in the summer, and what have you been doing with all of your mint? It's a good question. I really like the limeade. I think that goes good with the meat. It's also very refreshing. Lemonade is good, too. For soft drinks, I'm a fan of ginger ale. And for the adult beverages, maybe like a dark and stormy or a mojito, depending on what I'm grilling. And what am I doing with all that mint? Well, you can put it in the mojitos. You can also take the mint, and you can make your own mint tea. Because mint tea does not have any tea in it. It is just mint. There's so much you can do with mint. It's a great garnish. It's a great flavor. It's got it all. So go out there and grow some mint. All right, gimmick of the week time. Now, I've been thinking about this. Now, the Bella Twins have recently left the WWE, and we've seen different twins throughout the years. None of them have really made a huge impact in the world of wrestling. But we have never seen a Siamese twin. That's right. Now, if you were a Siamese twin, would they make you wrestle tag team? Would they make you wrestle one person? I'm going to say one person, and I'm going to add something to that. Because I'm not saying like two full-grown guys. I'm not saying you got to sew them together, friggin' Dr. Hater style. I'm saying you get like a midget, a little tiny midget. Okay, you put him on the side of a big guy, big muscle guy, big steroid guy, big fat guy, whatever it is. Put him on the side. Put them all together in one clothing. They got one pair of tights on. It's kind of like he's like a basket case. He's there. You see he's attached to his abdomen. You hide his legs. You don't see his legs. You just think he's like this growth. He's got arms, he's teeth, he's biting. So, they can't say it's a tag team. It's not a full-grown man. It's actually just a little growth on his side. Friggin' Siamese twin, basket case wrestler. This would be money. Do it! All right, last segment on the show, video questions. Now, if you guys want to send in a video question, just send it via YouTube. I'll take care of it from there. First up, Billy Boy Moore. That's right, the pride and joy. My own bouncing baby boy. Roll it up, William. What do you got for us?
My boy. Here's a question for your show. What are your thoughts on the 5-cent slut, Brooke Hogan, getting a job in TNA? And also, What are your thoughts on Raw going 3 hours starting July 23rd? And do you think that they talk about interaction with the fans? Do you think it's going to work, or do you think it might be the death of WWF? And what is your favorite match from ECW, WCW, and what is your favorite pay-per-view? Now, do you prefer this era or the last era? Do you like today's product or do you like yesterday's product? Me? I'm all over today's product. No, I'm just fucking with your head, dog. I hate today's product. Jackie Jones, Jackie Jones, oh yeah, Jackie Jones. In your head. And I'm in your ass and your pussy, girl. Mwah. Lick her shit deep in that fucking ass. And then stick it for all you can. Jackie Jones.
Well, he's asked a lot of questions there. A lot of them we already went over on the show earlier. But we'll get to a few of the things. Favorite match. Man, there's so many great matches. ECW. I always really loved the Taz and Bam Bam Bigelow matches. I thought they were awesome. I mean, not just for like the big spots in them, but just great matches. You know, and also the big theatrical spots really meant a lot to them. Anytime RVD was on pay-per-view, usually was a big standout moment. For WCW, I'm going to go back to the NWA days. And you can't beat the I Quit match with Magnum TA, Tully Blanchard. Greatest finish I've ever seen. I like realism in my wrestling. So much realism in that. Taking the shard of wood, sticking it in the man's eye. Also, the Ric Flair Terry Funk matches. The I Quit match. I actually enjoy the Terry Funk Flair matches over the Steamboat Flair matches. Not that there's anything bad with that. It's hard to think of my favorite pay-per-view. I'm just going to actually say ECW Barely Legal because I was a huge fan of ECW. And I was really like emotionally attached to the promotion itself. Really wanted to see it do well. So it actually meant a lot to me as a fan. When it finally got on a pay-per-view, it was a big deal. You actually felt part of the whole promotion, and you wanted to see them succeed, so that was a big deal. So I'm going to pick that as my favorite pay-per-view. Era of wrestling, I really like the Crockett days, but it's hard to beat the Monday Night Wars. That whole era. You had Nitro really hot. You had Raw really hot. 5 hours every Monday night. I'd look forward to watch it all. Plus, you had ECW. And ECW was so hot, too. So you had all these wrestling promotions really hot. Probably the greatest time to be a wrestling fan. I don't know if we'll ever match that again. Maybe just because I'm older. You know, you usually remember things from your childhood bigger. But I don't know if we'll ever get that. Today's product, the last product again. I'm going with yesteryear's product. I still enjoy wrestling. I'm not going to say it's terrible. But I definitely enjoyed it back then more than I do now. Some of it's probably due to my age, older guy. But I still think that back then it was a lot hotter, a lot more mainstream. You saw people wearing wrestling shirts a lot. It was also harder edge. You know, I was late teens, early 20s. You know, and it was now we got the PG stuff, which maybe is good for kids. I ain't a kid. I ain't got kids, so it doesn't really appeal to me. All right, now we got Ellie Babes. Roll it up, Ellie Babes.
Questions. First one is an in-your-head question. What really happened to Bobby Richards? Tell us the truth. The second question is quite simple. Brock Lesnar in WWE. A good thing or a bad thing?
Want to know what happened to Bobby Richards? I'm sure we went over this millions of times on the show. But anyway, the man stopped showing up. We didn't speak to him for a year. I was kind of I didn't think that was too cool. But like I said, older guy now, water under the bridge. Wish him all the best. He was one of the, got a big part of the show for a long time. Nothing against the guy. So I wish him all the best. And as far as, there's no big story. There's no blowout. We don't hate each other, nothing like that. He just stopped showing up. What can you do? Brock Lesnar, one of the greatest returns I've ever seen. The follow-up, not so hot. I'm still going to say it's good for WWE. I don't know why they had him lose his very first match. He's not a normal wrestler. You can't just exchange wins and losses like you can with other people. And I think wins and losses means a lot to him coming from UFC. You make a big deal about him coming back. Why would he automatically lose his first match? I think it was a big mistake. People say wins and losses don't matter. They do to me. And if they don't matter, what does matter? Why are you even watching it? And I think it actually mattered more in his case than it did in a lot of people's cases. But, it's not over yet. We still got like a year left of Lesnar. So I say it's a good thing. I'm excited to see him coming back. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening to the show. Rate, comment, subscribe. I want to give a big shout out to the Boxman for helping out with all the news this week. He's a good guy. And if you guys have any news items, you can send it to me, jackisbackbrother@hotmail.com. Leave me a voicemail, 508-644-8503. You can just leave it right here. So, check out iWatchWrestling.com every Wednesday night, 8 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Retweet us. Share us on the Facebook. Tell your friends about us. Send in video questions here for the Jackie Jones Show. And until next week, well, I'll probably see you before that. I'll probably be throwing out some cooking shows. I might do some shots with Jack. Who knows what I'll be doing? I might even be back this weekend for a review of the WWE pay-per-view. I know you guys can't get enough. Thank you again for listening, and enjoy. Hogans!